Zach Wilson continuing to get praise. The latest from former Cowboys quarterback and analyst extraordinaire Tony Romo, who said this: I think Zach Wilson is going to be in the discussion as one of the top 3 to 5 quarterbacks in the league very quickly. Within the next couple of years, I think you're going to see him rise. I think he's unbelievable. His ceiling is so high. It's rare for me to say that someone has the ability to get in the stratosphere of Patrick Mahomes, but I think this kid actually has that ability. I need to marinate on that, and I need to repeat it one more time. The stratosphere, we're talking Patrick Mahomes, Tony. Okay, now that's a bold take. I'll give it to you, Mr. Romo. Marcus, you had an interesting thought about Zach Wilson, too. Tell me what you think of him.
Yeah. I don't see Mahomes. I think Mahomes is once in a generation type performer, but in 2 years, he'll be as good as Josh Allen. The last Josh Allen we saw last year. I firmly believe that. And it's not about playing in the preseason. It's not about all of the extenuating circumstances. This dude has the poise. I look for traits, right? The things that we talk about with these dudes coming out of college, does it translate? When you watch Zach Wilson play, the arm and the live ability and how he looks just from the pocket, and if you watch football, it looks a lot like Aaron Rodgers. It looks a lot like that. I'm not talking about like, oh, you can see a few things that he does that's similar to Aaron. A lot of Zach Wilson this preseason looks a lot like Aaron Rodgers. And the reason why I bring up Josh Allen is because obviously those guys being in the same division, and you love the fact that you're going to have this competitive nature going between quarterbacks who I think are going to send to top 5, top 10 guys here in the near future. Josh Allen already being one of those guys based off what he did last year. Mac Jones is also in that division. Tua is in that division. But when I watch Zach Wilson this offseason and this preseason, and just looking at him, I wasn't thinking about the extenuating circumstances, wasn't thinking about the defenses that were out there, the way he operates and manipulates the pocket, and the things when the ball comes out of his hand, what it looks like and what it reminds me of is things that I've seen from Aaron Rodgers. I ain't saying he gonna be Aaron Rodgers, but what I am saying is when I look at everything the Jets are doing, and I gotta give the Jets some love. You bring in Robert Salah, you bring in Mike LaFleur, who's going to be running a very similar situation to what his brother is doing in Green Bay. And you think about the offensive line and how they are constructing this to protect their draft pick. Zach Wilson will be in this conversation. Mark it again for a top 5, top 7 QB in this league in the very near future.
Yeah. See, we got to stop comparing people to Patrick Mahomes. Like, this is Patrick Mahomes. We ain't talking about like Patrick Apartments or Patrick Townhouse or Macondo. This is Mahomes. Like, this is a once like $500 million Mahomes. This is Super Bowl MVP Mahomes. This is the best quarterback in the NFL Mahomes. So you talk about a Patrick Mahomes, that's a different conversation, a different hemisphere, different stratosphere. Now, when you go to the Josh Allens, now we can have a conversation. Josh Allen was up and down early in his career. Then he got a coach like Brian Daboll, a brilliant offensive mind. It was in New England. He was in Alabama. He was building this thing, and all of a sudden he brings it. And what I saw in Buffalo, because I spent a little bit of time in Buffalo in my NFL career, I saw him use Josh Allen's strengths and not worry about his weaknesses. And what I mean by that is simple. When they played New England a couple years ago, they put everything in empty, right? Expose the defense. Josh Allen, quick pass, be comfortable. When I was practicing with the Buffalo Bills, they did this drill, which I'd never seen before. They know that Josh Allen is big and strong and fast, loves to run around. They would do this drill. They have the offensive lineman just block for him for about 10, 12 seconds. The receivers continue running routes. Every single day they did this rollout drill specifically for Josh Allen. So instead of looking at Josh Allen's weaknesses, they had a coach, a coordinator in Brian Daboll that said, we're going to use every single one of your strengths. My issue with the Jets is this. Will Mike LaFleur, and maybe he will, the jury's still out, will Mike LaFleur find the Jets' strengths and use them? Will he find Zach Wilson's strengths and use them? The running attack, you're talking about being north and south. Will he use them? Kansas City is a completely different animal. I mean, Andy Reid is one of the best coaches. Even when he was leaving Philly, he was one of the best coaches. They got weapons, Tyreek Hill, proven weapons. They have Tyrann Mathieu on the defensive side. Proven weapons, proven leaders on that team. So there's a difference there when you talk about the stratospheres and hemispheres and phenomenal quarterbacks.
And I agree with you guys when it comes to Zach Wilson. When you look at Zach Wilson, I was high on Zach Wilson when a lot of people were making those little comments about him jumping Justin Fields early on in the draft process. I watched his film, and I'm going to give y'all some of my notes that I had on Zach Wilson. Great decision maker, can make every throw, reminds me of Aaron Rodgers, takes control at the line of scrimmage. He's mobile. He has that it factor, and he makes something out of nothing. Now, you take those intangibles, Marcus and Sam, that we've seen in the preseason that we know Zach Wilson has, and you pair it up with a head coach like Robert Saleh, right, who I think is going to be a great head coach. You pair it up with a guy like Mike LaFleur, who comes from that Shanahan tree. I got to remind everybody, Mike LaFleur comes from that Shanahan tree, right? So he's going to scheme everything up to Zach Wilson's strength so he can have production in this league. But I actually like what they got around him. You went out there and got a number one in Corey Davis, who has become his favorite target.
Yes.
You still have Jamison Crowder. You have Elijah Moore, who you haven't even seen him yet. So just wait till he start doing those jet motions, and now the defense got to focus their eyes on things going east and west to confuse them. And not only that, I want y'all to look at another tight end that they have from Ole Miss. I think his name is Eboa. I think they got him. I think he's an athletic tight end that they can use down the line, who's going to make some noise in this league. But when it comes to Zach Wilson, he has it. I think his persona, everything about Zach Wilson is made for New York, and I don't think New York is going to rattle Zach Wilson one bit.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.